Have you ever wondered why you have got different behaviors according to the social settings? When you are at home, you behave in a different way. When you're at work, you behave in a different way. And when you're at church, you behave in a different way. So you may find that your character are different from place to place. Have you ever wondered why it is like that? This is what we are going to talk about, the influence of social behavior. This is the social psychology essentials. Welcome to social psychology. This is your host, Dr. Tulipa Mwenfumbo, and uh, we are looking at introduction, history, and scope of social psychology. Remember, this lesson is coming from the book entitled The Influence of Social Behavior, Social Psychology Essentials, written by Dr. Tulipo Mwenfumbo. This book offers valuable insights into human behavior and social interactions, providing essential knowledge for professionals and students interested in social psychology. It also explores influence, persuasion, and decision making, deepening understanding of social factors that shape our thoughts and behaviors. So you can order this book, and if you want to order this book, uh, you can call us or WhatsApp me on +260 976 1812 53 +260 976 1812 53. Now let's dive into our today's lesson. So social, when we talk about social psychology, what does it mean? So, social psychology is a scientific study of how people think, feel, and behave in a social situations. It examines the interactions between individuals and the social context that influences the thoughts, feelings, and behavior. So, when we are talking about social psychology, we are talking about the scientific study of people, of how people think, feel, and behave in a social situation. So this course has key topics, and the many subjects or topics that this course covers are social influence. When you talk about social influence, is how others influence our thoughts, feelings, and behavior. And also it talks about attitude and persuasion, how attitudes are formed and changed. How do we how do we develop attitudes, and how are attitude forms, and how can we be able to change attitudes? And it also talks about group dynamics, how groups form, function, and influence individual behaviors. We are also going to look at interpersonal attraction, what draws people together and forms relationships. And also, we are going to look at what is called prosocial behavior. That is a voluntary actions that benefits others, such as altruism and helping. And lastly, we are going to look at environmental influences, how environment factors like temperature, population, lighting can be able to influence your behavior and your attitude. So now, what is the importance of learning social psychology? So social psychology is very important in the sense that it will help you understand human behavior. Social psychology helps us understand why people behave in a certain way. It also helps us to improve our relationship. So by understanding social interactions, we can build stronger and more meaningful relationships. It also addresses or addressing social issues. Social psychology informs strategies to address issues like prejudice, discrimination, and conflict. So, social psychology is applied in marketing and advertising. So, for you as a to get or to buy something, there is a social psychology that has been applied that makes you to understand uh, about the product and convinces you to buy that product. That is understanding consumer behavior and developing effective marketing strategies. Social psychology also helps in education, that is, improving teaching methods and student outcomes. In healthy and wellness, it promotes healthy behaviors and improving mental healthy outcomes. At workplace, social psychology enhances teamwork, leadership, and organizational performance. The study and the science of social psychology drives from historical philosophers like Plato, Aristotle. So, philosophical roots, social psychology roots lie in ancient Greek philosophers. It has been developed after a time, like in the 19th century, well back, wouldn't a German philosopher and a German psychologist laid groundwork for modern social psychology. So it emerges as a field in the early 20th century. So social psychology emerged as a distinct field with researchers like Norman Triplet, social facilitation, and Sheriff Roberts, who did the cave study on social psychology. In the mid 20th century, social psychology gained momentum with influential studies on attitude, persuasion, and group dynamics. It also looked at the behavior in the social settings and how the social environment is able to affect someone's behavior. So, the key milestone in the social behavior, in the social psychology, like in 1950s to 1960s, social learning theory, which was propounded by Bandler and also Festinger. They propounded the social psychology or social learning as the cognitive denounce, dissonance theory shaped by the field. And in the 1970s and 1980s, there was social attribution, which was the attribution theory and social identity theory, which expanded our understanding of social behavior. So, when we look at the scope of social psychology, individual levels possesses what is called attitude, cognitive, motivation, and emotion. So social psychology applies to individuals and it processes the attitude of the attitudes, cognition, and motivation of individuals. It also works in the interpersonal process, that is relationships, communication, and social influence. At the group level, it processes group dynamics, social norms, and collective behaviors. How is social psychology applied? So, when you talk about the application of social psychology, it applies on social issues that brings about prejudice, discrimination, conflict resolution, and social justice. So it is understanding of social psychology. It will be able to help us to understand what are the causes of prejudice, discrimination, conflict resolution, and also social justice. In the healthy and wellness, it applies to health behavior, mental health, and social support. How can we be able to help those people that are sick, like in the hospital setting? So there is a certain social behavior that we need to understand at organization level, the which is the organizational behavior that shows the leadership, teamwork, and organization performance. So there is also what is called the current trends in the social psychology, which has emerged with what is called neuroscience integration. So social neuroscience explores the neural basis of social behavior. Now, that is the biological interaction, the biological behavior of social psychology. Now, when you look at the neuroscience, we are looking at the neurons and how the neurons responds to the environment that creates a behavior, a social behavior. Also, it still talks about cultural psychology, which examines the cultural variations in social psychology phenomena. So there is social psychology also applies to the cultural environment, and it is also advanced in what is called methodological advances, which is incorporating new statistics and computation methods in the study of psychology. Thank you so much for today. We are going to end here, and we have looked at how social psychology can be applied. We have looked at the applications, and we have looked at the scope and how the this study has developed. So, if you want to find more about or to want to know more about this, what we have learned today, you can order this book, which is The Influence of Social Behavior, which is the Social Psychology Essentials, written by Dr. Tuipa Mwenfumbo, and it will be able to help you in uh, addressing or understanding more about the introduction to social psychology. Thank you so much and God bless you. So you can WhatsApp us, and if you want to join our trainings, you can WhatsApp us on +260 976 18 12 53. +260 976 18 12 53. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next class. This is your host once again, Dr. Tulipo Mwenifumbo. God bless you and meet you in the next class.